Welcome to Escape to the Country. Today we've come to a county right in the heart of England, and this is its highest parish church. But where are we, and why is this building so significant? Well, join me in just a few moments and I'll tell you. On today's show, we'll be helping a couple swap the coast for the countryside as they attempt to move closer to their grown-up children. And it's safe to say they're mentally unpacking from the kick-off.
It's nice and light.
We could live here.
Then a slice of history gets them excited.
It's absolutely fantastic. The space is just superb.
And we round it all off with a celebration.
First thing, have a party.
Yes.
Now, if you know your parish churches, you may well have recognised the exterior of this one as that of St Mary and St Hardolph at Breedon-on-the-Hill in Leicestershire. Now, not only is it the highest parish church in the county, it's also the oldest, and it contains this rare collection of early Anglo-Saxon carvings. Now, these date from a time when Christianity in this country really was in its infancy back in the 7th and 8th centuries AD. At the time, Viking marauders were raging across the country, ransacking many early Christian settlements, but somehow these have survived. A miracle, if you like. And it's worth considering that when these were made, the idea of England, or indeed Britain as a nation, had yet to be thought of. Situated in central England, Leicestershire is sandwiched by 7 other counties, including Northamptonshire to the south, Nottinghamshire to the north, and the tiny county of Rutland to the east. Leicestershire is predominantly rural, with more than 80% of the land devoted to agriculture. In fact, it's hard to believe that mellow scenes like these were once the site of much bloodshed. It was here in 1485 that the Battle of Bosworth was fought, which saw the death of Richard III, ending the reign of the Plantagenets and ushering in the mighty Tudors. The battle was believed to have taken place on Ambion Hill, but a £1 million archaeological survey of the area has now pinpointed the true location in a field just over a mile away. And it was William Shakespeare who immortalised the last moments of the doomed medieval king as he struggled on the Leicestershire battlefield with the desperate plea, a horse, my kingdom for a horse." Now, when it comes to property prices, overall, Leicestershire would appear to offer pretty good value for money. At £225,000, the cost of your average family home here is a very handy £30,000 under the national figure. But as with anywhere, there are, of course, hotspots. Head north of Leicester toward the villages of Rothley and Swithland, and you could comfortably add £100,000 to that figure. So maybe the smart move is to head south toward Teddingworth, where you will get a little bit more for your money. And as you would expect in a county as historic as this, there are some wonderful properties on the market. Leicestershire has a healthy array of lime or sandstone properties which have a significant iron content known as ironstone. And this lovely Grade 2 listed 2-bedroom cottage in Caldecott on the Rutland border is currently on the market for just under £130,000. But the majority of Leicestershire's housing stock is made up of red brick properties, such as this grand 5-bedroom example in North Kilworth. Dating back to the mid-1700s, it comes with a guide price of £550,000. Well, with architecture like that on your doorstep, it's no surprise that today's buyers want to make this county their home. So time now to meet them, find out what they're after and why. For the last 26 years, this modern 3-bedroom house in the town of Deal on the Kentish coast has been the family home to husband and wife Neil and Jane. But it was as teenagers in Glasgow that they first caught a loving glimpse of each other.
Neil and I met 42 years ago. I used to sit on the train in the station waiting for it to go, and I used to see this chap standing in a sailor suit because Neil went to Corps and he was in the Navy, and I used to look forward to Monday evening to see this boy on the platform.
Neil works as a health and safety consultant, and Jane has recently taken voluntary retirement from her job as a practice manager at a doctor's surgery. With the extra freedom they now have, their aim is to spend more time with their family.
We'd like to move nearer our eldest daughter. We have one grandson at the moment, and she's expecting another baby.
I'm determined I'm going to upset my grandchildren by being present more often and enjoying the things that I missed when my children grew up.
And that desire to be closer to their grandchildren has seen them plump for the county of Leicestershire, around the town of Market Harborough.
Our grandson has said that he would like us to live 10 minutes away from his house, so we can't let him down.
With this complete change of location, they're also taking the opportunity to try a totally different style of house.
We've lived in a modern house for 26 years, and I think we want a change now. Ideally, we would like a house with a large kitchen. I'd like a kitchen that I could cook in, but also people could sit as well.
And it seems Neil has some of his own expert ideas for the outside space too.
I studied horticulture at university and did garden design and maintenance, and now I'd like to put in some understanding of the medicinal roles and the herbal roles of plants in designing a physic garden.
As well as planning the planting, they're also relishing the chance to explore their new rural surroundings together.
We've just recently taken up cycling. We used to do a lot of walking, but we've decided we can get places faster,
Faster if we use the bike.
if we use the bike.
And they're certainly ready to get on their bikes, as their house is already on the market and they have a clear idea of what they're able to spend.
The budget for the move is £375,000.
With the second grandchild on the way, Neil and Jane want to be based within a short commute so they can be more hands-on grandparents. Therefore, we'll be concentrating the house hunt on the picturesque villages in the south of the county, all within easy access of the grandkids in Market Harborough. So time for us all to meet up in Leicestershire to finalise the details of their move. Well, Jane, Neil, welcome to Escape to the Country.
Thank you.
Now you're finally here, just outside Market Harborough. How does it feel to be getting on with it?
Great, fantastic. We need a new challenge.
In terms of the sort of property that you have in mind, where you are at the moment is very modern, classic kind of estate living cul-de-sac.
Yes.
Give us a picture of what you hope we're going to get for you this week.
I think we've decided that we want a complete change now, don't we? We really are looking forward to village life.
And in terms of bedrooms?
I suppose 3 bedrooms. I think we're more interested in space downstairs than upstairs.
Yeah. I can see you're going to do a lot of entertaining with the family when you finally land here. And I presume a nice big garden, so the grandkids have got somewhere to run around in.
That's correct.
And you. But it does hint at the possibility that you will take on something that does need a bit of imagination.
Yes.
And turn it around.
Yes.
And that's all part of this whole new chapter, I presume.
Absolutely. We're ready for a challenge and we're really looking forward to it.
Right then, we've got 3 to show you, including our mystery house. Let's get on with it. Follow me.
Okay.
So with an increasing family at the forefront of their minds, Neil and Jane have a £375,000 budget to find a detached character property with at least 3 bedrooms and a spacious kitchen diner. Outside, they'd like a decent-sized garden with the potential to fulfil Neil's horticultural aspirations. They'd also like it to be secure enough for the grandchildren to run about in to their heart's content. With that very achievable wish list, I'm confident that our selection of enticing period properties will more than meet the mark. But as ever, I won't be revealing the price until the end of each tour. To top it off, there's the mystery house, where thinking outside the box will quite literally test the boundaries. We're kicking off our house search in the small village of Leicester, just a couple of miles away from Neil and Jane's grandson in Market Harborough. As well as a 12th century church and an inviting public house, this peaceful setting also has an off-road cycle route, perfect for our bike enthusiasts. Our first property started life as a farmhouse and has an impressive approach, tucked away through an attractive arch. Well, here we are. Let's get started with property number 1.
Right, you wouldn't know it was here.
You wouldn't, would you?
No, not at all.
In terms of ground, you get all this. What do you think?
Let's have a look.
Yeah?
I think it's really interesting the way it's hidden away.
It could be quite illuminating, this tour, couldn't it? Come on, let's have a look around.
Okay.
This house presents a slice of village life in an old building finished in a contemporary style. So let's see how the character unfolds inside. Right, let's start in here. It's a mixture of kind of living room and garden room.
Space, light, and quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, just take a quick peek around the corner here. You've got these lovely doors here which open up into that corner.
That's much larger than it looks from the other side of the wall.
Yes, absolutely. So lots of space, I think that's the key thing.
This is lovely.
Good, OK. Well, let's have a look at the kitchen. That's through here. Back across the hallway. Into here. Now, it is lovely, obviously, but my guess is that it's not the big kitchen diner that you were dreaming of.
No, it's not quite what I want.
But there is an option, because through here, through this little archway, is this dining end, as it were.
Right, this is lovely.
Yes.
This is very
It's a
nice.
nice room.
It does complement the kitchen as it is at the moment very well. Also behind us is a very generous utility area as well, which also gives you access currently into the garage there.
right.
Oh, that's perfect.
Absolutely. I do sense our buyers are warming to this place, albeit slowly. So it's back through the hallway and upstairs to the first floor. Just in case you'd forgotten, we were in an old barn. They've got this lovely beam here, which kind of tells the story.
Yeah.
Alongside the smart family bathroom, there are 3 bedrooms, including 2 similar-sized and well-proportioned double rooms and the master suite. So this is for you.
Fantastic. That's a lovely room. Plenty of
Beautiful
storage.
window.
And the window.
Isn't that nice? Not the biggest of master bedrooms, but again, your focus is downstairs with the reception areas, so if you would be happy in here, then hopefully this would work.
I don't think there's room for Neil's clothes.
Ah, now, maybe there is. Look, as if on cue.
Oh, fantastic.
There
How
is
about that?
Yes.
Actually, that rail is just at the right height for me. So maybe this could be mine.
Plenty of space for your handbag
Yeah.
and shoes then.
There you are. So you've got a nice bit of storage in there, and also, if you can, open that door just there, shut the main door, that's it. In here, you've got a kind of a
Oh, right.
cloakroom, as opposed to an
Right.
well, it is an ensuite, but there's no shower
Yeah, that's
as
fine.
such.
That's fine.
It's nice and light.
We could live here.
It's always such an encouraging sign when people start imagining themselves living in a property. So let's hope the price fits the bill too. Yeah, your own little alfresco scene here. And as a garden designer yourself, I think you'd recognise something quite interesting about this.
They've done a nice job here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thought is that you could put a doorway through that wall and have access to the rest of the green garden proper through there. I think we like what we've seen so far,
Right.
and you've got £375,000 to spend.
Yes.
So, madam, make me an offer on property number 1.
I would say 3, 4, 5.
£345,000, yes.
I've got it at 357.
Well, you're not far off, to be fair. This could be yours for offers in excess of £350,000.
Okay.
So why not go back inside, have a look at that, get your design hats on, see what you can come up with, and also don't forget, do have a look at the garden space, Neil, because I think you could particularly do something quite exciting with that.
We shall.
And I'll catch up with you later.
Okay,
Off
thank
go.
you.
Comfortably under budget for offers in excess of £350,000, our first house is an individually styled barn conversion that gets us off to a great start. It has a large main living area, a kitchen leading through to a dining room, and 3 bedrooms. It sits on a large plot with a landscaped courtyard garden, as well as having a level lawned area to the front. And it's all set within a pretty rural village.
This house is definitely a contender. It's hidden away, it's tucked away, it's quiet. Inside the house, it's been finished to a very high standard. Quality is lovely. The garden room's fantastic. The courtyard has been very well designed with potential access to the garden space.
I was quite surprised
that there was a house like this tucked away. Upstairs, bedrooms are fine, love the bathroom. Obviously need to give it some thought about the kitchen, but it's a good start.
Good. Well, that's it then. House tour number 1 is done. Is this, however, the key to your new home? I wonder. With Neil and Jane's newfound interest in cycling, they should be well placed in Leicestershire. Its county city of Leicester held international importance during the Victorian period as a centre of bicycle manufacturing. Over 100 years on, this tradition is being kept alive at Cycle Magic, a not-for-profit community cycling group with an eye for restoring some of Britain's very weird and wonderful biking history, such as tandems and penny farthings. During the week, we sent our buyers to meet historian Roger Lovell to find out more about their collection of rather intriguing modes of transport.
I hear you're both keen cyclists.
As long as there's no hills.
Well, there are a few hills around, but you've come to quite a unique organisation. Cycle Magic is a not-for-profit organisation, and we do all sorts of different types of cycling. We don't sell bikes that you'd find in an ordinary bike shop. We specialise in all of the alternatives in cycling, so cycling for people with disabilities. We do bike recycling, we sell tandems, tricycles, circus bikes, all kinds of things.
There are many reasonable quality vintage bikes still in existence and still rideable. Expert Simon Thomas demonstrated some of their oldest models.
This is a replica of a Victorian tricycle, which would have been called a cripper. It's fairly stable, so pretty much anyone can actually get on it and have a go.
And no brakes.
There's no brakes, no, it's fixed, so if you want to slow down, you just have to kind of resist the pedalling action with the pedals and solid tyres, so you feel every bump.
Gosh. So how easy or difficult are these bikes to ride, the different types that you've
Okay.
got?
They're all different. Compared to a modern machine, it's a completely different experience.
Quintessentially English bikes, such as the Victorian penny farthing, are now making a revival, and it's possible to purchase brand new versions of these elegant machines. And with a wealth of cycle routes around Leicester and the surrounding countryside, there are plenty of opportunities for Neil and Jane to get out and about. But for now, it's time to jump back onto four wheels as we make our way to our next property. For our second house, we're making a 15-minute drive west from their family in Market Harborough to the village of North Kilworth. This sought-after location lies within a conservation area and is home to a nature reserve, ideal for ambling country walks. North Kilworth also has a 13th century church and still retains its post office. And at the heart of this lovely village is our next home. Now, property number 2. You're looking that way, but I'm looking that way.
Oh, really?
How about it?
Confused. Wow.
Now, to many people, that is what escaping to the country is all about.
We've just escaped.
Haven't you?
Yeah.
A beautiful thatch, probably about 400 years old or so. What are your thoughts?
Wow.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. It's newly thatched as well.
Yeah, newly thatched only last year, so that's good for another 25 years or so.
Looks lovely.
Total surprise.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well,
Totally
wait till you
surprised.
see what's on offer inside. It is stunning. This delightful Grade 2 listed detached property was originally 2 cottages and a barn. Now it's one great big family home. So let's find out if what lies beyond the charming facade will excite them. OK, Jane.
Wow.
This does it for me.
I thought it might.
Absolutely.
Does it do it for your husband?
Well, it does, as long as the food's good. No.
It's the colour I wanted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just got a lovely, calm feel about it.
I think it's just exactly what we would have chosen ourselves if we were starting from scratch in this kitchen.
Come and have a look through here. Now, surely you could relax comfortably in here.
Oh,
I could in front of that, yes.
Couldn't you just?
It's
Absolutely.
a nice light room too.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's a lovely room.
It is.
The spaces are just perfect.
Yeah. Well, in terms of social spaces, I mean, drifting through from the kitchen into here, you know, is very, very simple. But there is a dining room option in here. Have a look at this. I think this is a really charming little room.
Oh, this is lovely.
It is.
It's really beautiful. And the window, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's a working fire.
It is indeed, but it would be very cosy again.
Yes.
It would.
Floors are lovely. It just fits.
Yeah. So would this be big enough as a dining room, though?
I think so. We'd have a bigger table.
Yes, we would have a bigger
And that would
table.
fit in, I think.
Well, we have a bigger dining room with a bigger table in it.
So where have you hidden that?
It's through here. Come and have a look at this.
Oh my goodness.
There's the utility room and a downstairs cloakroom, but this, I think, is the thing that really helps to make this property work.
Oh God.
Come on up, Jay.
Oh, wow.
What do you reckon, Neil?
Unbelievable. It's a dining hall
It is. It is.
with a gallery.
Yeah. That takes you upstairs, obviously. I mean, back in the day, this was a barn, but it has produced this rather kind of manorial, medieval dining hall. I think you're absolutely right, Neil. It's the best way to describe it.
It's
Look
fantastic.
at the timbers up there. I mean, wonderful. You can see now why it is Grade 2 listed.
It's absolutely fantastic. The space is just superb.
I think you're a bit lost for words.
I am actually.
This is wow.
Well, I mean, I was lost for words when you stopped us outside because I didn't think I was coming here. It's amazing. It really, really is.
Well, I'm thrilled they both like this house so far. And there's more to come upstairs, where there are 3 bedrooms, so plenty of space to accommodate visiting family. That's the family bathroom, roll-top bath and shower in there. Bedroom 1, more of a box room, single room in there.
It's still a nice size.
This is lovely, nice big double. Could be a guest room, although, to be fair, it's interchangeable with this one, bedroom 3, which we're calling the master for argument's sake today, but if you didn't like this one, you could go next door.
This is lovely.
It's really nice.
And of course, here, you're at the end of the corridor, so if you have got guests staying and so on and so forth, you know, you're perhaps tucked away a bit if you want to be.
Yeah. If they're all still down in the dining room.
If they're still partying and whooping it up at the dining hall. Well, let's finish off out in the garden, and we'll talk about the money.
Okay.
Get your thinking caps on.
Right.
I've a strong feeling we've hit the jackpot with this immaculately presented property, and hopefully they'll be wowed by the garden too. And I suppose, broadly speaking, as you can tell, the garden is divided into 2 halves. You've got this bit of lawn here, quite simply done with some borders. But then you go through this lovely rose-covered arch to this secluded little terrace here, which I just think is nice and private and out of the way, really.
It's lovely.
It's a sun trap.
Sun trap, yeah.
So it meets with the garden designer's approval.
Well, it will be when I'm finished with it. 25 years. So.
OK. That will, of course, depend on the price. So, Neil?
I think you're pushing our budget. I think it's 375.
OK, 375 says your husband.
I'll say 372.
372? Well, you're both wrong, I'm afraid.
Really?
The bad news is that it is on the market for £400,000, which perhaps is not a surprise given what we've just seen. The good news, however, is that the vendors are aware of your budget. And I suspect there is a constructive conversation to be had in terms of you getting in and them getting out. I think you should go back inside and explore this wonderful property and just see what your money might get you if you play your cards right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Off you go. Brilliant. On the market at £400,000, but open to negotiation, our second property is a wonderful Grade 2 listed thatched cottage with rather impressive accommodation. It features a fantastic country kitchen, 3 reception rooms including a vaulted dining hall with exposed timbers and 3 bedrooms. The garden is enclosed by mature trees and borders, and it's set in a desirable village location.
This has been an amazing find. As soon as I saw it, I thought, wow. Came inside, kitchen is beautiful, nice and bright. I think it's just exactly what we're looking for.
The hall, fantastic. It is a room that defines the house. Lovely. You wouldn't get that anyplace else. Fantastic. The garden, we can do things with that. Nice sun trap at the bottom. Well, what could you say? We could move in tomorrow.
I've been looking everywhere for you, even upstairs, but no, you're in the garden.
Yep, sunbathing.
Where else? Well, I don't blame you, especially on a day like today, but I'm afraid I am going to whisk you away from here. If we were only going to show you two, we might have done it, but there's one more to come tomorrow.
As the evening draws in across the Leicestershire countryside, the first day of our house hunt comes to a close. After 26 years living in a modern house close to the Kent coast, Neil and Jane have a £375,000 budget to find a home near their grandchildren and daughters in the Leicestershire countryside. So far, they've seen 2 properties, but it was the second, a perfect thatch, that really got their hearts racing. However, still to come, our mystery house pits perfection against potential, which might just provide an alternative fairy tale ending.
Am I in this picture?
No, you're not in this picture.
And I'll be learning about the iconic Leicestershire features that bring some of Britain's historic landmarks to life.
Well, as you can see, the sun is shining on our final day of property hunting with Jane and with Neil. Now, so far, I think this property search is going particularly well. They've both been very focused in terms of what we've shown them, very realistic about what their budget can achieve. And as for the property market here, well, that is clearly thrilling them. So there's one more to come. Let's get on with the rest of the show. It's Mystery House time. Any idea where we're heading?
I've got a funny feeling we're heading towards Rutland.
That would mean we would cross a border into England's smallest county. How would that go down?
Small can be good.
That's just as well, because across the county border into Rutland is exactly where we're headed. Our mystery house is situated in Liddington and is our furthest destination from Neil and Jane's family in Market Harborough, but still only around 15 miles away. With attractive golden brown ironstone houses and cottages framing a small village green, the residents of Liddington are lucky enough to have 2 pubs to choose from. We're stopping off in one of them to meet landlord Holly East.
Now, it's often said that if you really want to find out what's going on in a village, talk to the landlord of the local pub. Holly, you've been in this particular pub for, what, 15 years or so?
Yes, that's right. It's a beautiful village and lovely community here.
Can you just talk us through, Holly, the kind of calendar of events in Liddington?
Yes, we have a village fete in May. The whole village get involved in the putting up and raising money. And also we're the open garden scheme. We do that every other year as well.
That's what we're looking for, an opportunity to
Get involved in community life.
Well, I think it's fairly clear that if you do like our mystery house, which of course is just down the road, you will be assured of a very warm welcome here in Liddington.
Most certainly.
Well, Holly, thank you very much for your time this morning. We better finish our coffee fairly quickly and get on to our final property tour of the week. Drink up.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Holly.
Holly.
Thank you, cheers.
So, tearing ourselves away from the welcoming watering hole, it's time to unveil the mystery property, which was once another familiar local landmark.
Wow.
Yes, wow.
You've got me tucked away again, haven't you?
This building here was the old school, but that is what's on offer.
OK. Well, I look forward to seeing inside that.
Now, I have to tell you that it is currently empty. It is currently unfurnished. So this is going to be quite an interesting test of your imagination as to how you might see yourselves slotting into this. The only thing I should point out to you is that there isn't any off-road parking, so you'd have to park out there on the street. But you do get this lovely entrance courtyard.
Surprise us, come on.
Come on then, let's see if we can.
Built in the 1890s, the Mystery House is a portion of a former Victorian school. It's been successfully converted into a unique and characterful family home.
Let's start in here. The kitchen.
It's not bad at all.
No, it's certainly bigger than the kitchen we have, and it has distinct possibilities, isn't it?
There's also a little utility room through there, which again would allow you to put in another dryer and all that sort of stuff.
There's plenty of space here.
If it's space you're after, there's tons.
Yeah,
through
I
here.
can't wait to get down.
Come and
those
have a look at this,
stairs.
because this to me really is where this house starts to kind of come together. This is the room that really makes it for me. Very, very substantial. Well, some would call it a conservatory. I'm going to call it a garden room. Yeah, which
fabulous.
is, you know, very solidly built. I don't know. I mean, what would you do in here? How would you divide this up, or would you? I mean, what? You know, paint me a picture.
First thing, have a party.
Before you do anything to it.
Do you know what we could do? We could have a ceilidh.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Nice Scottish ceilidh, why not? Yeah. So you've got this as one big living space, but it does get cosier as we go through to the kind of older bit, yeah. Have a look at this. Now this, I think, Neil, would be the kind of snug, maybe TV room.
Oh, just look at that.
Strange, is it? It's quite echoey in here without anything to
Yes.
deaden the sound. But yeah, big rug, some sofas, you've got the wood burner there. The surround is really nice, actually.
Just fantastic.
Fabulous.
What a lovely social room this would be.
There's a similarly sized room too next door, which could double up as a study if need be. So you've got lots of options outside of that enormous space of the kitchen.
Yes. This is again the living room, and the fireplace makes it.
I can see you in here with
A pipe and a cigar, or a beer. Or
yeah. There you go.
Story time.
Am I in this picture?
No, you're not in this picture.
Well, the picture downstairs certainly paints a promising one, with plenty of space for entertaining all the family. Then upstairs, there are more options. A generous bathroom serves 4 bedrooms. They include a single, as well as 2 similar-sized doubles, and of course the one that we've earmarked as the master.
Now, of the 4 bedrooms, this one is probably the one that you would pick for yourselves, I would suggest. None of them are en suite, but it is
Double
clearly
aspect.
the lightest, yeah.
Yeah.
I particularly like the lightness.
Yeah. And you get to look out on your garden now. I think you get the idea that up here, there is less to worry about than downstairs.
Yes. Oh, this is lovely.
Yeah.
So, have we swung you away from property number 2 with our mystery house, I wonder?
Well, that depends.
Neil and Jane don't appear to be at all daunted by the prospect of redecorating and perhaps reconfiguring this mystery house, which is a great sign. And outside, there could be even more for Neil to get stuck into.
Now, if you like decking, this is the garden for you, Neil. There's plenty of it, as you can see.
Maintenance free.
Well, there is that. But I think the garden, as it stands, hopefully will give you enough scope to exercise your horticultural imagination, Neil.
Yes, I'm quite happy outside. You're inside.
Fair division, I would say. But the question is, how much is this going to cost you? How much is the mystery house on the market for, Jane?
I think I'm going to go for 345.
345, yeah?
I think you're stretching our budget. I think this is 380.
380.
Do you?
Well, the good news is that it's on for 370.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'll need more money for inside than you'll need for outside.
Well, obviously, it's offers in the region of, but it's a very sought-after village, this one, for all the reasons that you have identified. If you think you'd be happy in this particular property, in this particular village, then maybe this is the one for you. Off you go. Go and have a look around and I'll catch up with you later. Look at them. Absolutely dumbfounded, lost for words, but Mystery House often does that to people, but to be fair, this one is quite interesting and there is no doubt about it. This is a village that will sell almost any property that is on the market here. At the end of the day, it's about life and it's about community. When it comes to country living, that is what we all want.
With an asking price of £370,000, the mystery property is a handsome converted Victorian schoolhouse dating back to the 19th century. In need of a little TLC, it has 3 reception areas that include an enormous garden room. There are also 4 bedrooms and a decent amount of outside space. It offers huge amounts of scope, and it's situated in a vibrant village with a proud and close-knit community.
Yesterday, we had our hearts set moving into house number 2, but now house number 3 has come along, Mystery House, and it's fabulous, it really is. I could see us living in this house and it being a happy family home with plenty of space.
I don't have to think about moving in. It's what we do when we do move in that's the issue. And there's plenty of opportunity for us to put fresh input into this. So for me, this is the house.
Good. Well, I think that was a pretty successful house tour, as they go.
Yes. Well, they've all been successful.
Well, I suspect there's a bit of confusion going on now as to what the future may hold.
I don't think there'll be much debate.
Well, a debate is to be had. Let's get you somewhere where you can have it, and then I will sit you down in a little while and grill you as to what the future may hold. Come on.
Since the early 19th century, one feature of Leicestershire's industrial heritage has continued to resonate the world over. In 1839, John Taylor relocated his family business to Loughborough when he recast the bells of the town's All Saints Church. Over 170 years later, the company is now renowned as the world's largest working bell foundry. I've come to meet director Simon Adams to find out more about the scale of work involved here and the skill sets needed for such a unique craft.
Simon!
Hello, Jules.
Hello, nice to see you. This is extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, there's clearly no doubt about what you do. As soon as you walk through the door, bells everywhere.
Yes, there's actually hundreds of bells lying around here waiting for all sorts of work to be done to them.
And by the looks of it, you're in the original premises.
Yes, these buildings have been here since 1859.
Can we have a bit of an explore? All shapes and sizes, clearly. Are these all new bells?
No, these are bells waiting for restoration. There are some from the Wirral, some from the City of London.
What's the biggest bell that you have actually made?
The greatest bell that we ever cast was the bell for St Paul's Cathedral, Great Paul, that weighs more than 16 tonnes.
And in terms of these bells here that have come in for restoration, I mean, what kind of ages are we talking about?
These are dated from 1350.
1350?
And they're inscribed in Latin.
Beautiful.
And quite elderly, but they'll be restored for future use.
So the process hasn't really changed?
It hasn't changed at all. It's still the same process from 600 years ago.
But more importantly, you've been able to keep those skills in being and keep training new generations of people to take them on.
Indeed, and we've got now more apprentices than we've ever had.
What is it that makes the perfect bell?
Well, in a new bell, it's the shape and the profile and the quality of the tuning that makes a perfect bell.
The art of bell making incorporates very specialised tuning, and this company used their own 5-tone principle that has remained unchanged for more than a century.
So this is the tuning room?
This is indeed the tuning room. It has been since 1896.
Presumably the acoustics in here are what make it work?
They're perfectly designed to simulate a church bell tower.
Now, are these old bells that you're retuning?
Yes, they're in for restoration. They're 18th century bells.
Well, there's a very strange sort of, almost like a synthesizer sound at the end of it. Does that mean it's out of tune?
There are some partials in there that aren't quite correct, and that's literally as the bell would have been sent out by its bell founder originally.
So how do you retune it then?
We'll place the bell on a large vertical lathe and remove metal from the inside of the bell at particular positions to actually improve the sound of it.
Now these bells look brand new, is that right?
These are brand new bells going to Moseley in Birmingham. I can sound 6 of them if you like, so you can hear the difference.
Go on then, give us a rendition. Wonderful, wonderful. And when they are mounted in a tower, the sound that's going to echo across Moseley, it's going to sound amazing, isn't it?
There'll be an absolutely wonderful peal of bells for Moseley.
Give us an idea of what a set of bells like this would cost.
The full peal of 10 is in the region of about £140,000.
Is it? Is it? But, you know, as you say, such a contribution to any community and they will last potentially forever. I can't resist it. Can I have one more?
Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
A large number of the team here are also bell ringers, and when they're not hard at work creating and restoring these magnificent bells, a well-earned break from the factory floor takes them up to the foundry tower.
Ah, up in the gods. So go on then, show us how it's done. Let's have a listen to the experts.
So, trouble's going.
Well, that surely is the sound of celebration that most of us would recognise. So let's hope it's in the air for Neil and for Jane. Well, Jane, Neil, have we had an exciting week?
Yes, it's been wonderful.
Fantastic. We've thoroughly
I don't
enjoyed
think house
ourselves.
hunting could be fun.
Ah, well, we did try and make it fun, but more importantly, have we made it productive? So let's just revisit the properties that we had a chance to take you to. Property number 1. What are your thoughts on that now, Jane?
Beautifully decorated, and throughout.
The living room and the garden room were just lovely, and onto the enclosed courtyard. It was really lovely.
Well, property number 2 then, very different proposition. Chocolate box thatch.
Yes, that was just amazing.
Yeah.
It had character, it had charm. It was beautifully finished, and the hall, if that's the right term,
Oh, the dining room, yes, the dining hall.
the galleried hall was just fantastic.
It was perfect.
It was.
Rare that one can say that about any
It
property.
was.
Well, I have to confess, I thought we'd probably done it, and I was beginning to wonder whether we needed to show you our final offering, our mystery house. Very different kind of property, empty, so you could see all the space on offer.
We fell in love with the village as soon as we drove into it.
Yes, there's a bit to do, but it's not terribly challenging. It's not structural work or anything like that. So I think that's the best option, actually.
And in terms of the price, £370,000, just under your maximum spend of £375,000, but you've got to spend some money on it.
Yes,
Yes.
which gives us options that we wouldn't necessarily have with the other two properties because they're already there.
So it's a chance to really make it your own and really define this move and really define this new chapter that you're beginning.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
Very interesting. So are we on the edge of an offer, do we think?
We're on the edge of a survey
Yeah.
and discussions about an offer, I think.
I'm delighted, guys. I really am delighted. Well, it will come as no surprise to anybody to learn that one of the great treats about working on Escape to the Country is having the chance to look at many beautiful and remarkable properties all over the UK. But I think this house search does raise an interesting question. Can a property be too perfect? We had the chance to show Jane and Neil two which I thought were perfectly finished, but in the end, they've gone for our mystery house, which in many respects isn't. Of course, we all like to make where we live our own. So maybe it does lend some truth to the old phrase, home really is what you make it. I'll see you next time.
If you would like to escape to the country in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland or England and would like our help, then please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.